If it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. Got a thing for a shorty and she more than a 10. Yeah, we litty. Bring two of your friends, shout her, keep on grinding on me again and again.
It's your boy KP, and welcome back to Uncommon Opinions. I don't even know what the fuck I want to call this segment because like it's not even my podcast, but like I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. My dumb ass trying to be tech savvy, didn't even plug in my microphone. So my last video ain't worth shit, but I'm gonna do it again. Alright. So before I get into the topic, I want to share a story leading into my topic. But the purpose of this new segment that I'm gonna have in between podcasts, it's more so of a mental note for me instead of just I think that if I can't accurately voice myself on my own channel, what the point of having a fucking channel? There's no purpose of it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start using this shit as a diary too. So y'all gonna be sick of it one day. But until then, right? I wanna talk about neglect, right? And this is something that a lot of people deal with. It's not necessarily a man thing, not necessarily a woman thing. It's just neglect, right? And I'm not talking about like physical neglect and abandonment, right? But people don't understand that there's always different levels to certain shit, right? Like for the majority of people who goes through neglect, right, it's a form of mental neglect. So let me tell you what I mean by that. Because what we need is a basic understanding of what it is that I'm talking about. Because if not, y'all can go the whole video without knowing what the fuck it is I'm talking about, right? So like mental neglect is a thing where like, right? So when it comes to mental neglection, it always comes in the form of not being mentally careful, right? And that comes in a few different stages, right? The first stage that we figure this out at a very young age, right? And most people go through this shit because like, I don't know about y'all, but like for me, right, majority of my life has been shut the fuck up and listen. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just a kid, right? But in the midst of shutting the fuck up and listening, right, two things happen. First thing is you get a wall being built up, right? That wall, because like it's a thing when you're an adult, right? And you're big enough and you're confident enough in your strength to where like I ain't gotta listen to you, right? Like we can go ahead, we can hash this shit out, right? But as a child, you physically can't protect yourself in a certain manner. So you literally have no choice but to shut the fuck up and listen, right? That's the whole reason to shut it down as a kid, right? The whole purpose. Can't physically protect yourself. So in order for harm to be done to you, to prevent harm from being done to you, you shut the fuck up. You just shut down, right? Because you don't want what's finna come next, right? And the second thing is you start to get a distrust physically and mentally as a person to the other person, right? That's an issue that need to be rectified, right? Like I remember there was a conversation that I had on Father's Day, right? This conversation really stuck in my head for a couple of reasons, right? I ain't gonna say who it was because like mind your fucking business, you don't need to know who it was. But like this person, it was like, man, like you really ain't yourself today. And I really had to sit there and ask them, like, who am I? Who am I? 26 years of living, you cannot accurately tell me you know who I am. That goes for most people around me, right? You can't. You don't know enough information on that. Then the person was just like, I can talk to them. I can come confide in them, right? Then I had to ask them, like, just since when I can talk to you. I was genuinely curious on when it is I can talk to you. Like, give me a time and a date was that effective, right? Like, when did you put out this executive decision that I can come and talk to you, right? When? My 26 years of living, I've been known, well, you've been known for me to not have conversations with you. The first 13 years of my life, not even that. The first 16 years of my life was shut the fuck up and listen. And then the next 9 to 10 years was completely no communication between us. And now all of a sudden you're saying I can talk to you. I need a date where this shit, I need a date to where this shit was affected. Because I don't understand. Right? And then just like everybody who take offense to questions, you feel insulted, you know what I'm saying? And shit, voices started to get raised, and I'm just like, yo, you can say that for yourself. Like, if you don't understand why it is and how it is we got here, then we don't even need to have this conversation. If you're getting upset over a simple question, we don't need to have this conversation, right? And I hung up the phone, right? Cause like it's a habit, right? Cause like everything is a learned behavior, right? Cause most people will say, you're not opening up, that's toxic masculinity, right? And I'm just like, no, bitch, like it's a learned behavior, like it's a learned behavior. Since when was I able to tell you how I felt and not be judged about it? Or since when I can tell you exactly how it is I feel to begin with, right? Like, let's just call a spade at this point. Mental neglect is a serious issue. It's a serious issue because not too many people get physically abandoned and physically neglect, right? I'm one of them persons who did, but like that's a whole nother fucking story, right? In fact, no, it ain't, cause it's part of the fucking topic. Fuck it, I'm gonna tell that story too, right? Because from the age of 13 to 16, right? Like, I'm the youngest of seven, right? The youngest of 7. And shit, by the time it was just me and my sister left in the house, my parents threw in the fucking towel. Like, it was a wrap. Like, it was done. It was a wrap. You hear me? So, like, at 13, damn near all financial responsibilities for my ass got put to a halt. You hear me? Put to a halt. And I physically got kicked out at 16, right? Thrown to the fucking wolves. So it's a learned behavior, to say the least, right? It's not like I'm just like this to be like this, right? It's a learned behavior. That's like, it's like religion in a sense, right? You was born into it, right? You're born into it. It's not like, very few people just convert to a fucking religion. Like, you was born into that damn religion, right? It's like, think about it. Christianity, Catholics, the Muslims, whatever it is, right? This ain't me knocking a religion, right? This ain't me knocking a religion. But think about how it is that the three major religions, they argue over everything. Well, they argue about who's the real God despite them being the same fucking religion, right? It's weird. It's unsensical, right? But it's a learned behavior. That's a learned behavior. Do we call them toxic religious people? No. It's a fucking learned behavior. Like, I find it weird, right? That people don't understand what mental neglect is and just how many people is affected by mentally being neglected. Like, that's the actual thing. But not be able to find somebody that you can confide in, that's a physical, literal thing, right? Most men go 20, 30, 40 years without the shit. Like, that is most motherfuckers I know got a hard time kicking marijuana. Like, think about it. It's not addictive, right? But they have a hard time stopping marijuana. Like, some niggas act like they need like they need weed, otherwise they it's fucked up. Like, just think about it. It's a bad habit. It's hard to kick. And you telling me, motherfucker, I went 20, damn near 30 years with this learned behavior, and now you telling me that's the wrong learned behavior, but you taught it to me? You taught it to me. That's a serious thing, right? We're not even gonna talk about the fact, and this is all I'm basing my knowledge off of, right? Men in general, right, have an alarming suicide rate compared to women. And all that comes to mental neglection. Like, think about it. All of it comes to mental neglection to a literal degree. So not only do we have the most deadliest jobs that we do, right? We also got to deal with high ass incarceration rates, right? But now we got the self delete button on top of that. That's too much shit to deal with. Like, nigga, help. That's too much to deal with. I just think about it, bro. Like, women, and this ain't me knocking women. Again, this is just me stating a double standard, right? There's nothing wrong with it, because everything I said, it should be this way, right? Because even if they was mentally neglected at home, somewhere down the line, they find somebody who they can mentally confine in, right? You're supposed to find somebody that you can be mentally secure with, right? Somebody who's supposed to satisfy your mental needs. That's you're supposed to, right? But why nobody take mental neglect serious when it comes to men? That's weird. Like, it's so weird to a point that even niggas don't give a fuck about it. That's how weird it is. Just think about it. We can't confine, most of the time we can't confine in our women, right? Because it's something that we're going to say can and will be used against us. We can't confine in our childs because they don't understand it, right? We can't confine to our family because, again, the last 20, 10, 30 plus years, it's been shut the fuck up and listen. So where do we get our mental stability from? I think about it. I got this thing where, because I said this once before on a podcast, right? I don't have friends, right? Because once you get past the associate, right, you're my brother, right? You are now a part of my family, right? And once you become a part of my family, there's a certain amount of loyalty that comes with that, right? And that loyalty, I have the responsibility, right, to make sure that you are physically and mentally sound in whatever endeavors you go through. You shall not feel alone in shit. To this day, my niggas calling me. To this day, niggas just come over just so they can sit in a fucking room. We don't even do shit. They just sit in a fucking room. We just drink. Sometimes that's all a nigga, like really, sometimes that's all a nigga need. If it's something that they need to get off their chest, they be like, bro, like, I just want to talk. I don't even need no advice. I just want, just want to get the shit off my chest. And I shut the fuck up and I listen. That's the thing. At least you getting it off your chest. That shit should not be clouding your mind. Because in the midst of you verbally speaking it out, right, your mind automatically filter out the shit that doesn't make sense and the shit that figure out that do make sense. And 9 times out of 10, you come to an effective conclusion by your damn self. But shit gets so juggled up inside of your mind, which leads to depression, right? And depression leads to a whole bunch of other shit, right? Mainly self-deletion, or at least an attempt of self-deletion. I just think about that. I remember. It's another story, right? I had to redo my senior year, right? And before y'all even come in the comments and say anything, bro, fuck y'all, okay? Fuck y'all. I was class clown. That's how I do. But I remember my mama and my older sister, they used to tell me, right? They're like, you too smart to be so fucking dumb, right? 'Cause I always did dumb shit. But like, how everything was turning out and how everything, was just going on at that point in time, right? I could only get attention when I act a fucking fool. So guess what I did? I act a fucking fool. That's the only time anybody gave a fuck about what KP fucking doing. Is when he was doing something stupid. When he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be fucking doing. So guess what I got accustomed to do? You gonna give my fucking attention. That's what I said. You gonna give me my fucking attention. If I gotta act a ass, I'ma act a whole ass, not a half a ass. And I remember, I remind you, it was shut the fuck up and listen for the majority of my life at this point. Shut the fuck up and listen. It took me and my mama 3 years of the same discussion. I shit you not. It took us 3 years of the same fucking discussion in order for me to realize I can mentally confine in her, right? Because I knew she was physically up. She was always fucking up, right? She's my mama. I never doubted for a fact she didn't love me unconditionally, right? But I knew for a fact that she did not have to. She didn't know how to mentally care for me, right? She didn't know how to, because like, you gotta understand that it's all, at that point in time, it's all a generational thing, right? Because that's shit her grandparents did, her mama did, her daddy did. Like, it was all the same shit, right? All the same shit. Everybody say communication, but back then, ain't nobody know how to fucking communicate properly. Ain't nobody know how to communicate properly. To this day, my grandma will still haul off and hit your ass. You even look at her wrong, right? There's no communication. There's just consequences. That's it. Consequences. That's how they was raised. That's how they thought it was the right fucking way. So shit, my mama did too. Ain't no wrong with that. But now when I got to a certain age, right, I had to let her know, like, I was in the military then. But we had this conversation. I was just like, I deserve the disrespect. Like, I deserve to be able to mentally confine you. I deserve that, That's something that I need. There's no end of the discussion. Like, that's something that I need to happen. That's something that need to happen. Right? My whole point in saying all this, right, is because neglection is a thing. It got many different fucking forms. Just like corruption, got many different forms. Got even depression got many different fucking forms. Like everything is just like, even though everything have a baseline understanding, just because everything have a baseline meaning to it does not mean that that's all there is to it. Every genre got subgenres within the genre. It go the same way for words, same way for mental illnesses. Like all this shit, nothing is ever black and white. My whole purpose of this channel, is to have serious, sensical, but non-lethal conversations. Right? I don't want, because when you in the sense of feeling that you're right, even I do this still. When you think that you're right, you kind of disregard the other person's feelings, right? Like, no, nigga, shut up, you wrong, right? But that don't help the discussion. That don't help people understand where it is you're coming from. Because, like again, I just said, they shut down. That don't help. In the process, I just want everything to have a certain feel, right? Because I want us to have serious discussions. I want everybody here to come to my channel and get a sense of relief from all the bad that reeks in their mind, right? Because like we gonna have some serious discussion, but like I mask it, like I want to mask it in comedy for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Even the message is gonna get told regardless, right? But people gotta learn how to smile more. A lot of shit can be solved by smiling. Not only that, but like I see a lot of problems that a lot of people really don't. Either they don't want to believe it's a problem, or they convince themselves that it's not a problem, right? And while I'm sure that I don't have all the answers for these problems, right? I don't need to know the fucking answers. I'm gonna keep pointing out the problems until somebody who is certified and qualified to solve them come and solve them bitches. Until then, I'm gonna bring these bitches up every chance I get. I'm gonna bring these bitches up. There's no ifs and we gonna bring it up. We gonna talk about it. Y'all gonna get tired of me talking about it, but until this shit get fixed, we gonna talk about it. We gotta talk about it, because a lot of things isn't like you see in the movies, right? You know how the plot is. They come to learn their lessons at the end of the movie, then come the next movie, right? It's a whole new problem they gotta tackle. Life ain't like that. A lot of motherfuckers, they got 2 to 3 problems that they keep fucking having in life. Problems are reoccurring and they rarely fucking change. But why it is for my talking point to change, it's not. I'm gonna keep pointing out the problems that I see, and we're gonna keep on talking about it. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. If not, it was good while I fucking lasted. It's your boy KP, and I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna call this segment. But that's what I want y'all to comment on this damn videos. What y'all want me to call these segments? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't know. Like, to me, it's just a fucking rant now. 'Cause how long I've been talking, it became a fucking rant at this point. What y'all want to call this segment? Comment what y'all want to see. in the future of the channel. Like shit, just let me know. Shit, y'all be blessed, man. I'm gonna get the fuck out.